If you want to find out whether you're truly on his mind, even if he doesn't show it to you, then do this short exercise now. You only need 30 seconds to feel it. You might be used to searching for external signs, checking whether he viewed your stories, replaying old messages, waiting for a text that never comes. But you already know how exhausting that is. It keeps you trapped in endless waiting and uncertainty. The real confirmation does not come from outside. It comes from within, from your own energy, and the way you learn to direct it. Carl Jung spent decades showing us that thought alone is not enough. A thought becomes powerful only when it fuses with deep emotion, because then it changes the chemistry of your brain, shifts your nervous system, and awakens unconscious responses in another person. What you're about to learn is a 33-second method that doesn't require chasing, begging, or hoping. It creates a ripple in both him and you, without you needing to lift a finger in the physical world. In this process, I will guide you through a 10-second mental preparation to align your frequency with his, a vivid visualization that quietly touches the deepest part of his brain, the limbic system where memories and emotions live, and a closure that seals the energetic bond so strongly that you begin to see results within 48 hours. Messages, calls, small gestures. They arrive not because you forced them, but because your field drew them in. You don't need to take my word for it. Women in this very community have applied this practice and been stunned by the sudden shift. Unexpected messages from men who had gone silent, encounters that seemed like coincidence but were anything but, and above all, the liberating feeling of certainty. You could be the next. That's why I urge you. Stay with me until the very end. Because not only will I walk you step by step through the process, I will also reveal the single most common mistake that prevents 90% of women from succeeding with this method. If you're ready to reclaim your feminine power and finally feel with absolute clarity that he is thinking of you, not because you begged for it, but because your very presence makes it inevitable, then take a deep breath, because your proof begins now. When someone suddenly appears in your thoughts without planning, that's never random. The soul does not work on accident. But when you appear again and again in someone else's thoughts, without calls, without reminders, that is a true energetic link. That is what we are working with here. Before I teach you the 33-second practice, you need to understand why it works, and just as important, why it might not have worked for you in the past. Maybe you've tried before. You thought about him intensely, whispered affirmations, even meditated on his face. But nothing happened. No sign, no shift. Why? Because the energy you sent carried the wrong vibration. Most women make this mistake without realizing. They send signals rooted in fear, in lack, in emptiness. They think about him with the hidden thought, he's not here. I don't have him. I'm afraid he won't think of me. And the universe, sensitive to the state you're truly in, amplifies that message of absence. When you desire from desperation, your energy becomes a plea that only confirms your fear. You say, I want, but your field screams, I lack. What we are doing here is profoundly different. Carl Jung often spoke about a principle at the core of psychology. It is not the external world that dictates your thoughts. It is your inner state that shapes reality. Neville Goddard deepened this truth when he said, you do not manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. Let that sink in. You don't attract by clinging to hope, you attract by becoming. If you step into the reality of, I am already on his mind, and let your body experience that as truth, then your energy transmits it. Your electromagnetic field shifts, your chemistry shifts, and suddenly, without understanding why, he feels it. He thinks of you. He doesn't need to believe in energy. He doesn't even need to be open to it. He only needs to be human. Because this process does not rely on theory. It works only when your body, your heart, and your mind align so powerfully that your signal moves through you as if it has already happened. And that is exactly what we will awaken today. This isn't just about imagination. It's about embodiment. We will engage 3 vital centers in you: the conscious mind, where you set clear intention; the heart, your emotional amplifier that charges the signal with life; and the body, which anchors the state as physical truth. When these 3 centers unite, your longing stops being a scattered wish and transforms into a coherent, undeniable frequency. And he will feel it. But before you can begin, you need to ask yourself one honest question. Are you willing to release the fear of, what if he isn't thinking of me? So you can discover that he already is. Because this method does not work through control. It isn't activated by doubt or by needing reassurance. It's awakened through trust, through surrender, into the knowing that does not need proof, because you already feel it in your bones. And that is where the true shift happens. Many women feel insecure and believe they need to be thought of in order to feel chosen. But this process flips that idea completely. When you choose yourself, when you step into your worth without apology, your vibration becomes magnetic. And then he thinks of you, not because you begged for space in his mind, but because your energy left him no choice. He doesn't need to understand it. He doesn't even need to notice the reason. The pull is unconscious, but the effect is undeniable. This is why this process is not meant for passive listening. It's meant for feeling, for action. We are about to awaken something that science, psychology, and spirituality all quietly agree upon. When your intention, your heart, and your body speak in one voice, your signal becomes irresistible. And from this moment forward, you will no longer wonder whether he is thinking of you. You will feel it. Before you touch the 33-second exercise itself, there's something crucial you need to understand. The quality of your preparation determines everything. You can follow the steps word for word, but if your inner state is restless, if your energy is scattered with fear or doubt, the signal you send out will be blurred. What we want is coherence, complete alignment between what you think, what you feel, and what your body carries. Only then does your projection stop being a fantasy and become a vibration strong enough to be felt. Think back to moments in your life when you suddenly felt the presence of someone without them being near. Maybe it was a tightening in your chest, a sudden memory that flooded your senses, or a moment where their name popped into your mind without reason. That was not imagination. That was resonance. You were feeling their signal. The truth is, every one of us has experienced this, but most dismiss it as coincidence. Jung called it synchronicity, the mysterious weaving of inner states and outer events. What you're about to do is not fabricate something artificial. You're learning to deliberately generate that same signal. The first step is simple but profound. Quiet your conscious mind. Find a space where you can be undisturbed for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be silent. What matters is that you can turn away from distractions. If you can, choose the early morning or late evening, when the energetic field is naturally calmer. Close your eyes. Let your breath become your anchor. You don't need to fight your thoughts or force them away. Simply watch them float past like clouds. You are not here to control. You are here to soften. This stillness is essential. If your mind keeps shouting, Your heart's whisper cannot be heard. Once you feel your thoughts begin to slow, step 2 begins. Connect to the desire without fear. This is where most people get it wrong. They imagine him from a place of longing, of missing, of emptiness. That only amplifies the absence. Instead, think of him as though he is already with you, right now, remembering you, feeling you. Imagine him pausing in the middle of his day, touched by a memory of you without knowing why. Don't watch this as though you're a spectator watching a movie. Feel it in your body, as though it is happening right now. What would your chest feel like if you knew he was thinking of you at this very moment? What would your breath sound like? Let your body believe it. This step is powerful because the body does not distinguish between vivid imagination and physical reality. The hormones, the neural responses, the subtle electromagnetic field, they shift either way. That is why athletes use visualization to enhance performance and why memory alone can bring tears to your eyes. The body reacts as though it's real. So as you breathe into this image of him remembering you, let your body begin to change. Don't question it. Don't ask, is it true? Breathe as though it already is. Now comes step 3. Prepare your physical anchor. You will need a gesture, something small that you'll use during the 33-second exercise. It can be placing your right hand over the center of your chest, folding your hands gently together, or touching your forehead with your fingertips. The gesture itself doesn't matter. The consistency does. Every time you use it, your body will associate it with the signal you're about to activate. This is more than symbolism. It's a form of neurological conditioning. By linking a physical movement with an emotional state, you give your body a shortcut back into coherence. Do it now while breathing slowly, not with expectation but with presence. If possible, stand before a mirror as you make this gesture. Not to criticize yourself, but to recognize who you are in that moment. A woman in her power, aligned with herself. And now, the time has come. The 33-second exercise that awakens the connection. Everything until this point has been preparation. You have calmed your mind, awakened your heart, and prepared your body with an anchor. You are no longer chasing proof. You are stepping into certainty. What you are about to do is simple, but it has one condition. For 33 seconds, you must be completely present. No doubt, no fear, no distractions. Just you, your intention, and the gesture you have chosen. Begin by taking a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Hold it gently for a few seconds. Then exhale slowly through your mouth. Do this 3 times until your body feels grounded. Close your eyes. Place yourself in the scene. He is somewhere ordinary. At home, at work, maybe on the train. And suddenly, you appear in his mind. Not because he chose it, not because he forced it, but because your image rises naturally within him. See it. Feel it. He pauses. Maybe he hears your voice echoing in his memory. Maybe he smells your scent. Maybe he doesn't know why, but he feels you. At that very moment, lift your hand and perform your anchor gesture. Do it with intention, with gentleness, with power. Let your body store this moment as truth. Now let yourself feel it, not as fantasy, but as lived reality. How does your chest expand, knowing you are in his thoughts? How does your skin hum with quiet certainty? Let your body become the vessel of this knowing. Next comes the secret. You must connect this image to an elevated emotion. Not fear, not neediness, not obsession. Those cut the signal. Instead, choose gratitude. Choose peace. Choose the quiet power of knowing you are remembered without having to demand it. Whisper to yourself if you want, I am in his mind. I am remembered. I am thought of without asking. And I feel it because it is true. Stay with this state. Breathe it in. Perform your gesture. Let the vibration move through every part of you. For 33 seconds, nothing else exists but this. Your mind focuses the intention, your heart amplifies it, and your body anchors it. What you are sending is no longer a wish. It is a frequency, a message woven into the collective unconscious. And he will feel it. As the 33 seconds draw to a close, you must move into the final phase, the energetic closure. This part is just as important as the exercise itself because it seals the vibration you've created. Without it, the energy remains open and scattered, leaking away before it can reach its destination. So when you're ready, gently let go of the image of him, not with sadness, not with longing, but with gratitude. Release it the way you would end a phone call, knowing you have been heard. Take one last deep breath, release your gesture, and quietly affirm, "May my signal be received where it is meant to be. May the response come without me forcing it. I am open. I am ready." Now open your eyes. At this moment, the energy has already been activated. The signal has been sent. What happens next depends less on him and more on how you carry yourself in the hours and days that follow. Many women sabotage themselves at this stage without realizing it. They complete the practice, but then slip back into fear. They start asking, when will he text me? What if nothing happens? Did I do it right? These questions, though natural, undo the vibration you just built. It is like planting a seed and then digging it up every few minutes to see if it has sprouted. The soil cannot work if you keep disturbing it. So the first conscious act after the exercise is silence. Hold your energy quietly, without announcing what you did, without rushing to check for proof, without feeding your mind with constant doubts. Silence is not emptiness. It is magnetism. By holding it, you give your energy the space it needs to take root. In the hours that follow, there are 3 simple tools you can use to keep the connection alive without suffocating it. The first is what I call the refuge gesture. At random moments throughout your day, repeat the same physical gesture you used in the exercise, placing your hand over your chest, folding your hands, or touching your forehead. But this time, don't visualize him. Don't force anything. Just make the gesture as a silent reminder that the signal has already been sent. It doesn't activate new energy. It confirms the vibration is alive within you. The second tool is a neutral thought. The signal has already been sent. Now the energy takes over. This is not an affirmation in the usual sense, because affirmations often carry resistance if your body doesn't believe them. This sentence is calm, neutral, and self-assured. It places you in the state of release. You don't need to beg the universe to deliver. You've already done your part. The third tool is the opening breath. Once a day, place your hand on your chest and take 3 conscious breaths, exactly as you did before the exercise. Ask for nothing. Expect nothing. Simply open space within yourself for whatever may come. This breath says to the universe, I am available without urgency. Just as important as what you do is what you avoid doing. There are 3 mistakes that block this energetic connection more than anything else. The first is compulsively repeating the exercise. You don't need to perform it multiple times a day. Doing so only creates emotional exhaustion and signals mistrust, as though you don't believe the first attempt was enough. Trust your work. Repeat only when your body clearly invites you to, not as a method of control. The second mistake is obsessively looking for proof. Checking his stories, stalking his posts, waiting minute by minute for a message. This is not openness, this is emotional surveillance. And it immediately shifts your vibration back into lack. Remember, the signs come when you are at ease, not when you are frantically searching for them. The third mistake is telling others what you did before the energy has settled. You might think it harmless to share with a friend, but words can dilute what is meant to stay intimate. This practice is sacred because it is your vibration, not your explanation, that holds the power. Keep it close. Protect it like a seed in fertile soil. Now here is the deeper truth. This practice is not about controlling whether he thinks of you. It is about transforming you into the kind of woman who no longer needs proof. The kind of woman whose energy is so rooted in her own worth that he cannot help but feel it. When you live from that vibration, you walk differently. You breathe differently. You exist differently. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are radiating presence, and that presence is impossible to ignore. So as you move through your day, do not obsess over what signs will come. Instead, live as though the connection is already alive. Because it is. If the thought of him surfaces, don't spiral into doubt. Smile softly and whisper to yourself, "Of course, he is thinking of me too." Then return to your life. Let your energy do the work. You'll notice subtle shifts. A dream that feels strangely vivid. A song playing unexpectedly that reminds you of him. His name popping up in conversation by coincidence. Or perhaps the undeniable pull in your body, a certainty you cannot explain that he has been remembering you. These are not accidents. These are the first ripples of the signal returning to you. And often, when you least expect it, a message or gesture will arrive. But here is the secret. Even before it does, you will already feel the change, because you are no longer clinging for proof. You are resting in the knowing, and that is the deepest power of this method. You didn't do it so that he loves you. You did it because you already love yourself enough to stand in certainty. And when a woman radiates from that place, her energy becomes irresistible. Not because of what she says, not because of what she does, but because her very presence awakens something in him he cannot explain. Now that you've learned how to activate the signal and release it, there is one more truth you need to carry with you. The way you behave after the exercise determines whether the result can arrive or whether it gets blocked. Think of it like this. The energy you've sent is already on its way, but if you fall back into fear, if you demand proof every second, you slam the door in its face. Most people don't realize this. They finish the exercise and then immediately sabotage it by spiraling into doubt. They whisper, "What if he doesn't reach out? What if I felt nothing? What if I imagined it all?" And without knowing, they return to the very vibration of absence they just worked so hard to release. This is why the first conscious choice after the practice is silence. Don't analyze. Don't explain. Don't even share it with someone else. Keep it within you like a secret flame. Silence is not weakness. It is power, because what you hold quietly gathers strength, while what you expose too soon loses its magic. In this silence, you will feel a new kind of magnetism. The kind that does not chase, the kind that simply draws. And when doubt creeps in, as it inevitably will, remember this. The signal has already been sent. The energy is already moving. You do not need to push it. You do not need to track it. You only need to live as though it is already real. That doesn't mean pretending. It means letting the certainty hum quietly in your bones as you move through your daily life. This is what shifts you from waiting to receiving. But let's speak about what truly changes once you practice this way of being. It's not only about him. Yes, you may see results, a message, a call, a sudden confession that he's been thinking of you without knowing why. But the deeper transformation is in you. You will feel yourself stepping into a different identity, the woman who no longer needs proof to know she is unforgettable, the woman who no longer clings to scraps of attention because she has remembered her own power, the woman who radiates presence so deeply that others feel it the moment she walks into a room. This is the essence of what Jung hinted at, that the unconscious is not separate from the world, but interwoven with it. When you change within, the world must echo it. And this is also the timeless truth echoed by mystics and teachers across centuries. You do not attract what you crave. You attract what you embody. The moment you embody certainty, the moment you walk as though you are already thought of, desired, remembered, life reflects it back to you in ways you could never script. So let yourself rest in this knowing. You don't need to keep performing. You don't need to cling to rituals, as though missing one will ruin everything. The power lies not in repetition, but in embodiment. Practice the exercise when you feel called, not out of fear, but out of awareness. And between those moments, live. Breathe. Move through your days as a woman who already knows. Because the truth is, he will feel it. He will think of you. He may not understand why. He may not be able to explain the sudden rush of memory, the pull in his chest, the urge to reach out, but he will feel it, and you will know. But here is something even more important. Whether he responds or not, whether he reaches out or stays silent, does not define your power. You did not do this to force love. You did it to remember your own. You did it to anchor into the reality that your worth was never dependent on anyone else's attention. And once you truly feel that, you will discover a freedom deeper than any message he could send. You will realize that the most magnetic energy a woman can carry is not, "Please think of me, but I already know who I am." That energy cannot be ignored. It lingers. It changes the room. It shifts the way people treat you. Not just him, but everyone around you. So when the signs come, and they will, accept them with gratitude, but not obsession. Notice the synchronicities. His name in unexpected places, dreams that feel alive, a sudden text when you least expect it. These are confirmations, yes, but they are not the source of your power. The source is already within you. And if nothing appears immediately, don't slip into despair. Seeds take time to grow. The vibration is still working, quietly, invisibly. Trust it the way you trust the earth to carry the roots you cannot see. Don't demand proof. Don't dig it up. Simply live as though the truth is already woven into the fabric of the world. If you are listening to this now, it is not a coincidence. It is because something in you is ready to awaken, ready to step out of doubt and into certainty, ready to stop begging for attention and start radiating it, ready to stop waiting for love and start becoming the presence that love cannot resist. So breathe deeply. Place your hand on your chest one more time and whisper, "I am thought of. I am remembered. I am already enough." Let those words sink, not into your mind, but into your body. Because this is the real transformation, not the proof he gives you, but the certainty you finally give yourself. And from this day forward, carry this knowing. You no longer need to chase signs. You no longer need to beg for attention, because the connection you were searching for has already been activated within you. The moment you remember your power, the moment you embody it, the world cannot help but respond. And whether it is him or someone else, the truth remains. When a woman radiates certainty, she is unforgettable. So let go, not in resignation, but in trust. Let go with the quiet fire of knowing that the energy is already moving, already weaving, already working. You do not control it. You inspire it. You guide it from silence. Thank you for choosing yourself today. Thank you for remembering who you are. And if you feel another soul needs to hear this truth, then share it, not as a promise, but as a reminder of what they already carry inside. Until we meet again, hold yourself gently, breathe deeply, and remember, he is thinking of you too.